understand.
Hi, I'm Victor Salva, and all the moments you've just seen, I wrote and directed. That's me at 14 in the first movie I ever made. By the time I graduated high school, I had written and directed over 20 short and feature-length films on both Super 8 and 16mm. A film I made just out of college, Something in the Basement, shot on VHS tape on a home camcorder, won an Ace Cable Award, a bronze at the Chicago Film Festival, and brought me to the attention of Oscar-winning filmmaker Francis Ford Coppola. Francis bankrolled my first theatrical feature out of his own pocket. A small, scary little movie called Clown House that was the first horror film ever allowed to screen at Sundance, and the film that introduced actor Sam Rockwell to the big screen. It also sent me to Hollywood, where I have been writing and directing movies for 2 decades, fortunate enough to work with many wonderful actors, making films both inside the studio system and in the world of indies. My films include the sci-fi drama Powder, starring Jeff Goldblum and Mary Steenburgen, the sports drama Peaceful Warrior, based on the best-selling book by Dan Millman, and starring Nick Nolte and Amy Smart. And of course, the Jeepers Creepers films, which are about to become a record-breaking trilogy when the 3rd installment goes before cameras. My childhood love of scary movies never left me, and I made millions for Francis Coppola and MGM with my Jeepers films. The first Jeepers, when it was released in 2000, set a world record for largest Labor Day opening in cinema history. 2 years later, its sequel, Jeepers Creepers 2, broke that record, making it the only horror franchise to ever break 2 world records. In fact, just 3 of my theatrically released features have a combined global box office and video and TV market profit of over $250 million. Nothing that happened in the Jeepers movies was inexpensive. The budgets reached $10 million or more, and a new business model started proving time and time again that horror movies don't need stars with big price tags or big production budgets to create enormous profit. In fact, today, genre films made with small production budgets have continually become the horror champs of the worldwide box office. What if the Creeper's exploits were too expensive? How about a new movie monster that wasn't? What about a new horror creation from the Jeepers Creepers guy? His first since the Creeper more than a decade ago. A new and unique horror let loose in the small seaside town of Hanford. That sound is all our audience will need to hear to have them hiding under their seats. And here's why. The one telltale sound the Rattleman makes when he is about to attack, the uncontrollable rattle of his teeth. The Rattleman is a supernatural killer who can use any shadow as a doorway into our world. He could jump right out of the wall next to you if there was a shadow there large enough and dark enough. This gives us a film that 20 minutes into the movie has every member of the audience terrified of every shadow in every scene. A premise like this has never been tried, and why I think The Rattleman can be made with a modest budget while being a nail-biter the likes of which suspense thrillers have never seen. And to put those shadows and sounds up on the big screen comes a team I have been assembling since my first feature film. Mainly the Jeepers team, now about to become the Rattleman team. First up, actor Doug Jones. Now you may not recognize him here, but you certainly know him from some of the most incredible creature performances ever put on film. Doug is a superstar at Comic-Con and among horror fans, and putting him in the title role of the Rattleman increases our film's value immeasurably. The look of the Rattleman is a design process in the capable hands of my special makeup effects wizard, Brian Pennicus. Brian did all the amazing makeup effects in both Jeepers films and has a long history of doing special makeup effects in many of Hollywood's biggest features. The distinctive look of many of my films belongs to my director of photography, Don Fauntleroy. A gifted man who learned his craft by working with some of the greatest filmmakers ever, like James Cameron, Martin Scorsese, and Steven Spielberg. You only have to look at a little of Don's work to see the incredible contribution this cinematographer brings to any film he photographs. Don Fauntleroy joins the Rattleman team with 40 years' experience in the industry and comes to the project as both our cinematographer and producer. Stunt coordinator Monty Simmons created all the amazing stunts in my films Rosewood Lane, Dark House, Peaceful Warrior, and the spectacular work he did in Jeepers Creepers 2. Monty is no stranger to the horror genre. He's also created amazing stunts for films like Blade 2, Hellboy, and these two horror legends in Freddy vs. Jason. Monty will be creating all the thrilling and eye-popping stunts for the Rattleman. Once shooting is completed, there are even more amazing talents that make up the Rattleman team, including my gifted film editor, Ed Marks, my award-winning composer, Bennett Salve, who has been my music man for over a decade and a half, scoring most of my films, including Jeepers 1 and 2. Who will now give the Rattleman film its own unique and frightening musical voice. Once it comes time to add music and sound to the finished film, sound designer Matt Waters, Emmy winner for Game of Thrones, will be the man to put the rattle in Rattleman. When it comes time to sell the finished Rattleman, our industry reach starts with me, a money-making filmmaker with strong relationships to the studios who have bought my films year after year. And we have access to every studio in town and will allow us to choose the widest distribution and create the largest profit for all of our investors. And will allow us to join the continuing legacy of low-cost, highly profitable, big-screen horror. There are countless others, too many to mention here, that make up my great Rattleman team. Now I hope you will come on board and be a part of that team. Join us and let's give movie fans something they have been asking me for a long, long time. A scary new movie monster in a scary new monster movie. It follows my own time-tested recipe. A horror movie that is fun, but still terrifying, and has as much heart as it does horror. Come and join us. Come and help us unleash the Rattleman.